Today, we're going to crack open a real treasure chest of ancient Hindi fables. Now, these aren't just some quaint stories for kids. Nope. They're basically a masterclass in strategy, psychology, and, survival that's been passed down for centuries. So let's see what they have to teach us.
And that's a fair question, right? I mean, we've got data, we've got analytics coming out of our ears. So why should we look back at stories about monkeys and crocodiles? Well, it's because hidden in these super simple narratives are these powerful, timeless blueprints for how to handle really complex situations. It's a kind of wisdom that, honestly, data alone just can't give you.
So the first big idea these stories just keep hammering home is this. It's all a celebration of the mind. In these fables, true power isn't about having the sharpest claws or the loudest roar. Not at all. It's about having the sharpest wit.
Okay, let's meet our masters of strategy. We've got a monkey who literally talks his way out of being eaten, a jackal who completely outsmarts the king of the jungle, and even a snake who figures out how to turn its weakness into a weapon. These guys, they're going to be our guides to the art of thinking on your feet.
So picture this. There's this friendly monkey living in a tree, and a crocodile in the river right below. One day, the crocodile offers the monkey a ride across the river. But, surprise, it's a trap. Halfway across, he spills the beans. His wife wants to eat the monkey's heart. I mean, it really seems like it's game over.
Just think about the sheer nerve of this response. The monkey is facing certain death, and he doesn't panic. He just invents this brilliant, totally absurd lie on the spot. He actually turns the crocodile's own greed and gullibility right back against him, which just goes to show you that a quick mind is the ultimate escape plan.
And you see that exact same brand of quick thinking in our next story. A lion, the king of the jungle, wants to eat a donkey, but can't be bothered to hunt, so he orders his minister, the jackal, to lure one in. The jackal, being incredibly clever, convinces this naive donkey that the lion wants to make him a minister. Of course, the donkey falls for it, and the second he shows up, the lion attacks.
But wait, the story doesn't end there. The lion, being very traditional, goes to wash up before his meal. And this gives the jackal a little window of opportunity. He swoops in and eats the most prized part of the meal, the donkey's brain. So when the lion gets back and is absolutely furious, demanding to know where the brain is, the jackal has the perfect response ready to go.
And boom! That line right there perfectly illustrates the fable's point. The jackal uses pure, undeniable logic to shut down the lion's rage and get his own reward. He proves that intelligence isn't just a tool for survival, it's a tool for thriving, even when you're up against someone way, way more powerful than you are.
The key concept here is something called booty. Now, this is more than just being smart. It's about using your intelligence when you're under extreme pressure. The monkey's creative lie, the jackal's logical twist, that is booty in action. It's the core virtue these fables champion above pretty much anything else.
But, for every hero with booty, there's a cautionary tale about a fool. These fables are just as interested in teaching us what not to do. They show us how fast a lack of the strategic wisdom, or even just a momentary lapse, can lead to total disaster. So, let's meet our anti-heroes. We have a donkey whose ego completely gets the better of him, a tortoise who just can't keep his mouth shut, and a fish who thinks that just, hoping for the best is a real strategy. Yeah, their stories are basically giant warning signs.
So let's look at a couple of these fools, right? You've got the donkey, who's just stuffed himself with cucumbers from a farmer's field, and he gets this overwhelming urge to sing. His jackal friend is like, dude, this is a terrible idea, but the donkey's arrogance is just deafening. Then you have the tortoise, who has this absolutely brilliant plan to fly south with two ducks holding a stick. But his downfall comes from a single moment of impulse.
Seriously, think about that. The tortoise is literally flying. He's achieving the impossible. But when people on the ground look up and start marveling at him, he can't resist opening his mouth to take credit, and he plummets. It takes just one impulsive, foolish moment to destroy everything. That's a powerful reminder about self-control, especially in an age of instant reactions. Okay, so it's not just about how clever or foolish you are as an individual. These fables also argue that who you are is deeply, deeply connected to who you're with. Your environment, your friends, your mentors, they are shaping you in ways you might not even realize. And this idea is captured perfectly in the story of two parrot brothers. They were born in the same nest, but got separated by a storm. One ends up being found and raised by a ruthless hunter, while the other is found and raised by a gentle sage in his ashram.
Years later, a king is traveling through the forest. He first runs into the hunter's parrot, which just starts shrieking these violent threats at him. The king is shocked, rides on, and then finds the sage's ashram, and there, the other parrot, its identical twin, greets him with kindness and respect. I mean, the message could not be clearer. Your company determines your character.
But it's not just about who you learn from, it's also about who you work with. Take the story of the doves. A whole flock gets caught in a hunter's net. Can you just imagine the panic? Each bird flapping wildly, pulling in a different direction, only making the trap tighter and guaranteeing they're all doomed. Individually, they are completely helpless. Until their wise leader gives this one command, and in that single moment, chaos turns into coordination. They stop being a collection of trapped individuals and become a single, unified force. They fly, net and all, to a friend, a mouse who can set them free. This is the fable's really powerful lesson on collaboration and unity. So, after looking at all this, clever heroes, cautionary fools, the power of community, what's the common thread? What's the takeaway? Well, these fables aren't just a bunch of separate stories. When you put them all together, they actually form a pretty cohesive guide for navigating life.
And here it is, pretty much distilled into 4 core principles. First, cultivate your intellect, your buddhi. Second, get a handle on your impulses. Don't be the singing donkey or the talkative tortoise. Third, be really deliberate about who you let into your circle of influence. And fourth, recognize that some challenges can only be overcome together. This is the blueprint for a wise and successful life, and it's just as true today as it was 1,000 years ago.
And that leaves us with one final thought. In our modern, super fast-paced world, which of these lessons really resonates the most with you? Is it the need for clever thinking in such a complex society? Is it the discipline to resist our impulses in an age of instant gratification? Maybe it's the wisdom to choose our digital and our real-world company with care. Or is it the call to unite in a time that feels so divided? The stories have given us the wisdom. What we do with it, well, that's up to us.